Adults only.
Have you seen the Slash?
Made by users for users.
Engineered for flavor.
One of the coolest features around.
A built-in loading tool.
Learn more at www.stonesmiths.ca. Who grew it? What's the terpene profile? Who created it? What is the lineage? How much THC? What's in a name? This is Know Your Buds, a close-up look at cultivars you should try. Or try again. Joining Dean is our educator, Chris Ianson.
Always good to be exploring more cultivars on Know Your Buds as I welcome in my good friend Chris Ianson, Regional Manager, Plantlife Cannabis, and you were a traveling man for a long time, my friend, but you're now back in the City of Champions and working with a bunch of stores, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, but nice to be back home again, isn't it?
Yeah, Dean, it is for sure, buddy. I feel like the past 6 weeks have been a tour of Alberta for me. But yeah, I'm just getting back to Edmonton now, and yeah, gonna kind of set up shop down here now, and I'm pumped about it.
Excellent. Well, I'm excited about what we're chatting about today. We are going to be doing a cultivar called Dukem. It's a hybrid. 65-35, and on the legacy market, or the gray market, the illicit market, it was for years called Duke Nukem. We'll tell everybody about that in just a little bit, but the licensed producer that produces this is Royal City Cannabis, and that is the rec brand of CannTX Sciences. So give us a little bit of a background into Royal City and what CannTX Sciences is all about.
Yeah, for sure, Dino. They're a privately owned company, cannabis producer. They were founded in 2013 out of Puce Lynch, Ontario, and their current CEO and president, Mike Abbott, and director Buck Young. They're the ones that founded the company, and they both play a significant role in operations and day to day. In May of 2020, CannTX received their license from Health Canada to become an LP. And that's when the Royal City Cannabis brand was born. And the facility that they are growing their cannabis out of is located just south of Guelph, Ontario. And that's also known as the Royal City. So that kind of ties into the name of the LP. And there's also a rock band named Royal City, and they're from Guelph as well. So I wonder maybe the rock band's got some ties in there too.
Yeah, maybe this is like way back when Up Cannabis had all their songs named after tragically hip, or all their cultivars named after tragically hip songs, and you could put some on. Maybe we'll have to listen to some Royal City if we can find it while we're enjoying some of this at some point. And you know me, I'm a sucker for great stories and great backstories, and the background of this company when it comes to technology and what they're doing and how they're growing, man, I feel it's just amazing, and I definitely feel like I'm the dumbest person in the room when we're talking about this sort of thing, because it is so impressive and almost futuristic.
Yeah, big time, Gino. How they grow out their facility, and it's a 30,000 square foot facility. It's very, very science-based. It's a commercial scale grow with the in vitro plant tissue culture lab. And what that is there is they're doing propagation of cannabis plants where they are, slicing off a little bit of tissue from a plant that they've selected, that they've liked, they've enjoyed kind of how it grows. It's got all the characteristics that they're looking for. and then the plant is then grown in kind of like a petri dish environment, and it's just ideal for getting the clones to be grown with minimal issues, like they're going to be disease free, and it kind of takes the genetics back to the basics, really.
That's awesome. That is so
Yeah.
impressive with some of these things that they are doing, and that's kind of just like that. That's impressive, but there's even more, right?
Yeah, Dean, there is. It's they have a biosafety lab as well. They've got a level 2 microbiology lab as well, and they've got 8 precision controlled grow rooms and a photobiology lab for crop optimization as well. So very very science based there, and actually with the employees that work there, there's over 50 people that are working at this facility. Over a third of them have science related degrees. There's a lot of PhDs and masters coming out of the staff there at CanTX.
That's pretty impressive. And they obviously are producing some terrific cannabis, but they also offer some of their systems to other different companies, don't they?
Yeah, this is kind of a neat little side, maybe not a side thing, because I'm sure they've been doing it for a while, but they offer their steady stem solutions. And this is an extra division of the company. And they offer to other cannabis producers that want to dial in their genetics. And it's their tissue propagation, like we talked about. And it's just ideal way to grow, and it's their own kind of proprietary way. So it's pretty awesome that they are able to kind of spread that knowledge around to the other LPs out there, and we're going to see better cannabis all around because of it.
Impressive stuff for sure. All right, the website, if you're looking at Royal City Cannabis, is www.royalcitycannabis.co. You're looking at it if you are indeed watching us on our YouTube channel. If you're listening, check out the YouTube channel. We also stream on our social media channels. And I look at the website first. I like the colors. I like the font. So, it's visually appealing. You click on what to do, and there's not a lot there. Certainly, you can go and look at the cultivars that they have, and there's Dukem right there. I love the colors. I love the font. It stands out. For me, Chris, there's just not enough of it. There's just not enough information on this website. We just talked about some of the amazing things behind this company. I think they should be flexing and showing off a little bit with some of that stuff. So great colors, visually nice, just lacking and the information that I think they should be bragging about.
Yeah, well said. I agree with you, Dean. I would love to know more information about it, the growing process, and even I love seeing when cannabis companies show our team, meet the team. I want to know who your VP of cultivation is, and who your master growers are, and head of sales. I like seeing that on the website. So hopefully that's coming further down the line here from these guys. But I do like the kind of the different cultivar sections there that we're kind of scrolling through. How everyone's got its own kind of unique logo and kind of, I guess, theme. I think that's pretty sharp for sure. And then Dino, I was a big fan of like if you click on the link right below there, it'll take you to like a terpene profile for each of their cultivars as well. And so
Okay.
it's a terpene analysis.
I did not see that, so I at first run through I missed that, so I will take a little bit back about the information, because there is plenty of information. So I missed that when we were first chatting about the website before we went through there, but that is definitely something that I appreciate from Royal City Cannabis. So, if they can throw in some information about how they do things and the people behind it, that's great. And then this information, I find this information really, really helpful, and I can't wait to dive into this as we go throughout that. So good on them for including that certain information there when it comes to royalcitycannabis.co. Okay, let's talk about, Chris, the history when we're talking about Dukem. What is the lineage with this cultivar?
Yeah, so the lineage, it's two interesting ones, Dino. It's a Chernobyl cross with a Commando. And so really kind of unique cultivars there. The Chernobyl is a cross of Blood Wreck with Jack the Ripper. It sounds a little violent there.
Wow.
And then right. And the Commando is a grapefruit crossed with a Mendo Perps crossed with an Empress Kush. So it's really kind of several well-known fan favorite cultivars in the genetics, like the Mendo Perps is super popular. I got to try it in Amsterdam, and it was delicious and very notable. Like it's one I'll never forget. Trainwreck also legendary sativa, very popular, and then Jack the Ripper as well. People love that one too. So some good genetics in the Dukem for sure, Dean.
Yeah,
And actually,
I just want to mention, when you see the colors of this, you'll realize where the purple comes from. But the Chernobyl, which is Bloodwreck and Jack the Ripper, like that just sounds like somebody's nightmare right there. Like Jack the Ripper is chasing you through Chernobyl, and it's just a blood wreck everywhere. Like seriously, I want to wake up from that nightmare. But I'm sure the cannabis is delicious. I've just always wondered about some of the names that people go with on the cultivars, because that literally sounds like a nightmare I had about 3 weeks ago. So interesting names, and more interesting names from the breeder as well, and some of the other things that they've produced, eh?
oh boy, for sure, Dean. Dukem was bred by Cabin Fever Seed Breeders, and they're a consortium of 3 growers from Northern California. And they started in 2010. And they're responsible for some real unique cultivars, such as Sweaty Yeti, as well as Flamin' Alien, Albino Leprechaun, and then Alexander Kush, which I feel has got to be a play on Alexander Keith beer, maybe.
Maybe.
But yeah, there's some really funny names there. And I think for me, it's, we get these cool names in cannabis because the names are created by stoners. A lot of times it's all right. We're gonna smoke this new bud we grew and come up with a name while we're stoned. So
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like Chernobyl. Not gonna make you feel like you've walked through a radioactive town, but it's just a play on things. It's a little bit of a farce.
I think I have all these names of cultivars I would love to create and call them, but I think that would be fun to go into something without a name in mind. You know what the lineage is, but if you want to go with that, smoke it, vape it, whatever, after you grow it, and then how you feel during that experience, the name comes from that. Like, I kind of think, I don't know, but I kind of think maybe that's how some of it happens. I would love to do that. Just get high, and then whatever comes to mind is like, yeah, I'm going with that name. Like, I think that would be kind of cool, don't you?
Absolutely. I think that would be one of the coolest jobs in the world too, to come up with the names. I saw a video of I believe it was Snoop Dogg and Burner, the guy behind Cookies, and they just kind of got together this really nice pool setting, and Burner had a couple of big bags of new cannabis, and they just smoked it together and kind of discussed, like, as Snoop was hitting it, I can't remember the name he came up with, but it was just off the top of his head how that kind of intense stone at that very moment made him feel, and then just let it flow.
Yeah, I'd be like, popcorn clouds. That's what this is going to be called, or something like that, whatever comes to mind. But by the way, the THC percentage on this is 18.75. We'll tell you where that kind of fits on our scale for, beginners, intermediate, and experience. And when we talk about what's in a name, this is where I kind of mentioned off the top about the Duke Nukem, which is a pretty popular video game. Hence, there was probably copyright issues. So this is kind of just a combination of what the illicit market name is, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. It's kind of like the Duke Nukem celebrity name there. Just mash them together. And I think, yeah, you're right, Dean, with the copyright reasons. I think as well, from a regulatory standpoint, Duke Nukem being, a video game of, it's an old school first person shooter game, where you go around killing alien bastards. So it's kind of maybe, I guess, aimed at children too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's something you might have but I feel like it's such an old video game that all the children that did play Duke Nukem are all of age at this point.
Yeah, like
But
I think you'd be safe like calling something like Space Invaders 2 or something like that, right? Because like, what kid today knows anything about Space Invaders or asteroids?
yeah, totally, man.
So that's what we're going with when it comes to what's in a name. And any other thoughts on the name there with Duke Nukem? Or I wasn't really a big Duke Nukem video game player, so I don't really know that game very well. Doom I played, and that was a first-person shooter. But did you play a lot of Duke Nukem?
I was the same as you, buddy. Didn't play a lot of Duke Nukem. I was a Doom. I played the Wolfenstein game as well. Those kind of old school first person shooter games. I looked up some Duke Nukem, I guess, covers. It kind of reminded me of like Guile from Street Fighter. So like blonde, slick
Right.
kind of hair, and then sunglasses and the leather coat, kind of like with the big gun. Uh, yeah, it's pretty cool.
All right, let's get into the look. And if you're watching, you can see it on the screen there. And again, if you want to check it out, head to our YouTube channel, Cannabis 101 Podcast, and we stream on social media. You can see it's a small, kind of dark navy blue tub. This sort of tub with that rounded lid, it reminds me of R2D2, which I kind of like. So I wish everything came in glass, or as Aqualita does, reclaimed ocean plastic, and putting out 2 tons of packaging with reclaimed ocean. That's great. But if it is going to be plastic, I like color in my plastic, as you know, and I like that that lid. It's just kind of very cool. What do you think of the packaging?
Yeah, I like the uniqueness of it for sure. I love your comparison of R2D2. I think that's pretty awesome. It does have the little lip on the inside there, something I kind of wish I hope LPs kind of get away from. But I mean, the fact that it comes with the Bovita pack is super nice as well. So,
Yep.
and I think size wise, it's not too bad. Could be maybe a touch smaller on the size, but I mean, we still got to get all the information on the label too. So,
Hmm.
yeah,
I feel you could probably fit 7 grams in there.
agreed. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
And maybe at some point that will happen, and the size comes down. As you mentioned, lip on the inside, that's the negative, but the great positive is the Bovita pack. This was in great shape. This cannabis that I pulled out, it was sponge worthy. Definitely, it was nice and soft and squishy. So I dig it, and I really dig the look of this. So when I pulled it out and first took a look at it, and I mentioned the purple earlier from some of the lineage. There it is. Like I mean, that just looks gorgeous, man.
Yeah, buddy, it's a really nice trim job too on the eighth that I got. Really nice dense nugs, but yeah, anytime I see the purple, it gets me excited for sure. And also really good trichome coverage on the batch that I got.
Yeah, and good size nugs as well. Like those are pretty good size, very very dense. So full marks for the trim job, the look, the feel. It smells great, as we're going to get into in a second. But it's got that healthy sort of smell to it as well. Now, what do you got for us when it comes to the terpene profile?
Yeah, for sure, Dino. So the terpene profile, our dominant terpene is awesomine. That's one we don't talk about too much. It's come up here and there. And that's the terpene that's kind of got a sweet and herbaceous aroma and flavor to it. Farnesene is up next, and that's kind of a sweet, fruity terpene. It's found in the skin of an apple, so it's commonly associated with the apple smell. And then we've got caryophyllene as our third one there, and that's black pepper kind of spiciness. I know that's one of your faves there, Dino. So a good little mix of terps there for sure.
Indeed. And some different ones too that we don't often see, but that farnesene is one that I'm really, really enjoying. And we've had that in a couple of different cultivars as well. So when it comes to the smell, I know one of your favorite parts when you can come in studio is when we give the cannabis straight to Nosy McGee, my wife Trish, and she gives it the old smell test. I think I might start recording those, and then we'll edit them
Ha!
into this
I
segment at some
love that
point.
idea, buddy.
I think that would be quite funny. But I'll tell you, she got a bit of a berry, like a sweet berry kind of smell. What are some of the smells that you associate Dukem with?
So for me, it's an earthiness, definitely. That was kind of the initial thing,
Hmm.
and then it like a sweet kind of tropical punch, kind of just overlays on top of that earthy smell. And I found kind of the same thing when I ground it up as well.
Yeah,
Those are my two takeaways.
I found definitely earthy, and I found that, and this is something I recommend to people too. After the grind, right? It smells a little bit different, and I really get that earthy, and the spice comes out a little bit more. I find after the grind than it did. So that kind of when everything's broken up a little bit, and the freshness really comes out. So I definitely dig the earthiness and some sweetness there as well. And I get some sweetness on the taste as well. What do you get when you fire this up?
So for me, I was consuming it in joints as I do. I definitely got like a spicy sweetness, kind of similar to the smell, um, with some kind of lavender floral notes to it. And then on the exhale for me, it was kind of a citrus, fruity, like orangey aftertaste and exhale. But super enjoyable. I thought it was a nice smooth smoke for sure.
Yeah, I'm just firing up the Supernova, my Volcano hybrid. I get a nice sweetness on the inhale when I have this, especially in a bag, and I find like I even just smell the sweetness right now as it's uh, filling up this bag. So I get definitely a sweetness on the inhale that you had talked, and I also get some floral notes as well on and the exhale as well. So it's got a very appealing taste. Like it's a very nice taste, despite the scary names that are in the lineage. It's just I don't know. Once it's like to quote Frank the Tank from Old School. Once it hits your lips, man, it's just so tasty. So I really enjoy the taste of this, especially in a bag with something like the Volcano, where you can really get into the terpenes and the smells and things like that. So I enjoyed it. What was your experience like when you had it?
Amazing. I'm a big fan of the Dukem, Dean. The first time I tried Dukem, it was actually in a rosin wrap mixed with keef hash. So I kind of got like I got Dukem on steroids for the first time. Uh, yeah, that was actually Dylan Bruck from Plantlife. He's one that exposed me to it. He had a lot of great things to say, and he's actually our Plantlife, I guess, cannabis expert. He's the guy that's has tried and sampled out over 420 cultivars on the rec market, and has a review on all of them. And he had great reviews about the Dukem, so maybe you want to check it out. For me, it's a very clear-headed high, um, super tasty, super smooth, very uplifting on the mood, and I find that comes pretty quick. Halfway through my joint, I'm already kind of smiling, starting to feel really nice. I think it's awesome for creativity and productivity. There's definitely like a nice head kind of buzz to it, but it's not too much. It's not unmanageable,
Hmm.
but it's definitely good for you know um, getting your mind going. I think too, Dino, it's a great wake and bake cultivar. Absolutely, like rolling out of bed, starting your day with the Dukem is really nice. And then I started mixing my second joint. I'd make it half Dukem and half kind of like a really chill indica, nothing too sedative though. A D Bubba and Dukem, where it was a really great mix for kind of my second and third joints of the day. So big up for me for the Dukem. It's a nice cultivar for sure.
I think when we talk about wake and bakes, for me, sometimes I don't like to start out with really high sativas, high THC sativas. Sometimes I get a little bit of anxiety, so there's some certain ones I like to stay away from. I love starting the day with a hybrid if I can a little bit, but one that's going to give me some productivity. So that's why I really like this, is that I can have this, as my first one of the day, if it is in the morning, if I'm doing a wake and bake, and I'm not worried about, getting the anxious thoughts like some really high sativas do. That's what I really kind of like about the sound of this one, and what it can do for you, which leads us into the 3 W's. So who, what, and when is this good for, Chris?
Yeah, for sure, Dino. So who it's good for? Intermediates. It's kind of a level 1.5, I'd say. If you've been in the beginner zone for a bit, you can be kind of exploring, and you're ready for, I guess, the next step up. I think this is a good option for that. As it's, not too high of the THC, and it's not too buzzy of a sativa. What it's good for, wake and bake, as I mentioned, it's really nice for that. It's good for if you're looking to feel uplifted and euphoric. It's excellent for getting that list of chores done as well, being productive. I think it's also good for, forgetting about the stresses that, the everyday stresses that we encounter. I find it definitely gets your mind off that. And also, if you're looking to get your munchies on, Dukem is really good for that as well. When it's good for is daytime use. I'd say I wouldn't recommend, hitting a bowl of Dukem right before bed. Your mind's going to race a little bit, but I feel like it's definitely daytime. Wake and bake's really nice for it too.
Beautiful. That is awesome. So we've been talking about Dukem from Royal City Cannabis. It is about a 65-35 sativa, and it's really, really, really tasty. So, okay, really quickly, you guys have the Plantlife Rewards app, and that is going to be already in play by the time we talk next week. Tell us about it.
Yeah, totally, Dean. So yeah, it's the Plantlife family rewards apps. So we're starting a family here, and it's an app that you can have on your phone, and you're going to have a wallet, and it's going to keep track of points. There's going to be some really awesome incentives with it. 15% off your first purchase, 10% off your first online order, and then you collect points as you are in a Plantlife store. So you just need to come down, check us out, visit us. And then, it's just a really great way to kind of stay up to date on things with Plantlife. So we're super stoked about the launch here. It's coming up soon. So yeah, next time we do talk, Dino, I'll let you know how it's going.
Awesome. You can check out some information at plantlifecannabis.com, and you can sign up for the Plantlife Family Rewards right there on the website, or grab the app. Easy as that. Chris, thanks so much. I really, really enjoy this Dukem. I want to get back to it now, so I'm going to let you go, and we'll chat next week. Thanks, buddy.
Sounds good, Dino, man. Thanks for having me.
Check us out and follow us on social media at the Cannabis 101 on Twitter, at the Cannabis 101 podcast on Instagram, and at the Canna 101 podcast on Facebook. You can email us at cannabis101podcast@gmail.com.